the beginning. I mean, obviously we don't have to go into everything, but it's been an up and down journey for you here this year. I mean, I guess you've seen for yourself firsthand as your career advances, so too do the potential pitfalls, do the publicity, does the all of those things that come with taking your game to another level, taking your career to another level. Talk to me a bit, as much as you'd like to, about the year that you've had and how you got here to this point and how good it feels to now be focused back on a fight.
Man, it feels awesome. Like, it's actually, I don't think that I went into the UFC with the right mindset. I don't think that I was mature about some of the things that I did and or I handled. And I think that over the past 9 months that I've been off, it's just been like it's almost like I look back and I'm like, I don't even recognize that person. Like I'm so pumped to be more of a woman, more proud of myself, and just, was able to find a better me and throughout that entire mess. And, it's so hard. Like, fighters or any athlete or even as movie stars or anybody, like, people only see what the media puts out there, and you don't get to actually know that person. And to see what I've come from, I've been through way worse than what this last year has ever put me through. I think that I focused on the wrong things. So now at this point, it's like, man, I'm a trooper, I'm a gamer, and I'm a champion. Like I'm everything I always wanted to be and more. And I can't wait to fight again. Like, I'm just so excited. I've been texting Sean Shelby since June and saying regularly to him, like, hey, look, like, just so you know, like, I'm ready. I'm ready at any moment. Anybody gets hurt, you need a girl on the fly, like, you call me. I'm ready. I'm ready to do anything, and I'm ready to game, and I'm ready to fight all over again. So, I've been ready to go since June. I feel like I've been fine-tuned, and I mean, this is a part of that game. Sometimes you have long times that you sit out. You just have to be ready whenever the opportunity arises.
And that's awesome to hear you say that, because that is, not that it was going to be taken away, but with that long stretch, you sit there and sometimes it's like the old expression, you don't know what you have until it's gone. And then you're missing it for a minute and you're like, wait a minute, and I can think of my own personal achievements. And right before that, you get that lull and you're like, man, am I going to push through this? And then boom, you do, and you go to another level, and here's an opportunity for that. How long have you been in your training here for this? What kind of camp did you put together to get you ready to head out to Mexico?
I've been in camp for 10 years. I've never left. I've never left camp. I've never not. And the things that maybe is different about other females, like, I don't know how they are, but like, strong style and MMA is my life. Like, I literally am in the gym every single day. And if I'm not, it's because there's some reason I'm not. And even if it means traveling somewhere, like, I'm always in the gym. So I've been in camp since February of last year when I had my fight to 10 years ago when I decided that this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I mean, all I've done at this point is just work even harder on getting myself better. So when I was given the phone call to actually get the fight and we had a date, all we did in our training camp is went, well, it looks like instead of you waiting for everyone else, the sparring rounds and stuff, like, oh, you're at the end of the list right now and you wait for everyone else to go, because we go by like who has the top level fights coming up, be it Stipe, be it some of our amateurs, some of our other, low level pros, like, they would get a little bit more attention, and I still did things, and I have my coaches that I work with. But when we were given, like, hey, this is what it is, you're fighting, we went, well, we're in great shape, our weight is fine. Like, it looks like you get to go first. So instead of you being here all night, you get to go first and get your training done and go about your business.
Down, boys. Over in our chat room, let's just say I have no shortage of volunteers if you ever need sparring partners here, guys that are willing to let you toss them around. You guys are ridiculous. Down over there. Jessica I joining us here on the Sports Fix, getting ready for her fight coming up here. I'm curious, just as far as getting ready for the fight, and I see what you're saying about having to stay ready, especially when you're in that waiting for a fight. You know, some guys have their fights planned out a bit more, and then you're in that large group of fighters because there's so many now under contract. UFC, even some people think too many events, but so many events now worldwide because they've got the network going and they've got so much programming worldwide to fill. So you're in that kind of, you could be put up at any time. As we see with the injuries this year, by the way, not just yourself, but looking at this year, I've never seen anything in a major, whether it's wrestling, boxing, mixed martial arts, where an entire year's worth of the high level fights have been wiped out. I mean, pretty much every main event UFC has planned, big ones this year, has been damaged in one way or another with the injuries and the training and all of that. It's been amazing. They have not had any of the big fights that they planned to have for about the last 12 months or so.
Yeah, and that's a part of this game. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes these injuries happen to some of these big level fighters like that because they take time off and, you know what I mean? Like they let themselves get a little out of shape. And I mean, I think that the more that you stay in shape, the more that you keep your training regular, the less likely. I mean, it's just about tempo. You know what I mean? Like, so you go into fight camp and you got 6 weeks before the fight. So instead you do 10 rounds instead of your normal in your off season. You're only doing 4 or 5 just to keep yourself keep that edge going, and that's kind of what we've done. Like, I mean, I've been off for 9 months and I mean, I made sure there wasn't any crazy injuries. Like, and if I did have little injuries within that time, I healed up. I stayed off the mat, maybe went into the gym. I mean, my fitness center is strong style is much more complex than most people understand. I mean, we're about 40,000 square feet, and we have 2 cages, 2 boxing rings, an entirely, 20,000 square foot fitness facility attached to it. So if one day I wasn't necessarily on the mat, there was something else that I could do to keep myself mentally focused, mentally in the gym, seeing the cage and just remembering that's my home and where I'm going.
And Jessica, earlier we talked about the two of you and the style of how this fight could go. She's got a few inches on you. Have you sparred or trained against people that are a little bit taller than you to get you used to the height and the reach difference at all? Are you worried about that aspect when you stand with somebody like Leslie Smith?
No, because I've fought in taller fighters. I fought Amanda Lavoie, who was bigger than her. In one of my pro fights, I fought Kelly Warren, who was taller than me. I fought Ashley Nee, who was taller than me. My brother is 6 foot, and he's taller than me. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, the guys at the gym are taller than me.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I guarantee the guys at the gym she trains with are just as tall as her. I mean, just because you have height doesn't mean you know how to use reach. I mean, I think that we've seen that in boxing as well in other fights, that reach is a matter of how you know how to use it, and height is a matter of what you do with it. And I mean, hey, look what happened to Jessamine Duke when she fought her. I mean, She was bigger. I mean, we've seen how that fight went.
Yeah, absolutely, at the fight night here over this past summer. So if you were to lay it out, because, people always say, it takes 2 to tango, but if you do your thing, I'm sure you're confident you come out with the victory. What's your game plan? If I go in and I do this, I'm going to come away with the victory in this fight.
I mean, I'm going to come out and I'm going to show people why my name's Evil and why I survived my entire amateur career at 9 fights into my professional career as undefeated. And I mean, I'm a finisher and I know how to finish fights and I know how to put damage on people. So, I mean, she better be ready. She just better be ready for what I have to bring, and I know I'm ready for everything she has to bring. I think that she thinks I like to score points, get in and get out. I mean, let's see if that happens this time. Maybe somebody learned how to sit down on their punches a little bit more this time.
I wish I had the Mortal Kombat sound effect, finish him, because you're like, I'm a finisher. I'm like, yeah, go get him, like Mortal Kombat, pull the spine out, hold it up, and go, I finished him. Anyways, maybe a little
That's
too
kind of my mindset. I'm kind of like Celebrity Deathmatch, where like I'm
yeah.
I know this might sound crazy, but like I'm trying to kill her. Like, I mean, that's not my fault she signed up for this, because I signed up knowing that I know my risk.
And, of course, she means that figuratively, not literally for anybody listening, but
no.
I know what you're saying. I know. I love it. Last question, I guess. This is just outside of that. Once you touch down, I mean, you are heading to a strange place. How hard is it going to be to stay focused? Are you worried about the distractions that are going to be on the ground once you hit there, not just in a different environment, but with the celebrity and with the focus and everything that's going to be on this fight and the entire atmosphere? How do you stay focused on that until fight time?
I actually do better that way. I actually do better in those kinds of situations. You know what I mean? It's like when I fought Zoila Cargao, like, I remember the New York Times, like, head editor came into my warm-up room, and Bjorn brought him in, and Bjorn was like, you know, Jessica, we're expecting something big. And I knew that it was my first time making it on TV, where I was literally going to be, I was the opening fight of, you know, what was going to be on Spike TV, and I knew all that, and I was so pumped that I was like, man, it's my TV debut, you know, just like this is my pay-per-view debut, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait to go out there and just rise to the occasion and be who I know I'm capable of being.
Jessica, Evil Eye is going to fight. No, oh, I can tell. I can hear it in your voice how pumped up you are. She takes on Leslie Smith. It's UFC 180, November 15th in Mexico City, Mexico. And it's going to be a big one here. You mentioned Stipe real quick in there. He's getting ready for a big one coming up just a few weeks after you. We're going to have him on the show here too. But he's pumped up. A lot of people think if he's able to go in there and do what some of us think he can do, he may be in line for a title shot here coming up. I mean, obviously, cart before the horse, but a big fight coming up for both of you guys here in the next 30 days.
Are you kidding? Stipe is going to be the next champion. Like,
yeah,
he really
that's
is.
what I'm saying.
He is. I have gotten a chance to be around Junior. I've gotten a chance to be around Kane, considering I fought my debut on the card. And I remember just after I won my fight against Kaufman, like, I literally was texting Stipe in the back, and I was like, you're going to be the champion, Stipe. Like, you are, and I know it. And I'm going to remind you as your teammate and as your friend that I'm going to remind you all the time that you are going to be the new UFC heavyweight champion. It's just a matter of time. And I can't wait, because he has just showed people one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. And he's a champion, and most people don't know that yet. And that's okay, because then he can just worry about himself.
Oh, absolutely. He's coming. And, you know, they say Cleveland's in the look for 50 years and counting for a championship. That's another one that's trying to get it for Cleveland as well. You've got you out there. You've got Stipe. You've got the Cavaliers and LeBron and Kevin Love, and yet the Browns, the Indians. Man, it's a Cleveland kind of climate in the world right now. Wouldn't you say, Jessica?
Yes, absolutely. Right now, like, Cleveland's on fire. And what more than the Queen of Cleveland to bring back a true championship back to this city? And I know I'm racing up against some of the best of the best in the world. I know that I want to make this city proud, and I want to be a female that's going to do it.
The Queen of Cleveland. I love it. Jessica I. November 15th. It's coming up in Mexico City, UFC 180. Jessica, good luck, and I definitely want to catch up with you afterwards, talk to you about the fight, the experience, and hopefully the victory, baby, as we continue moving on. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a great time having you here on the show, and thank you for taking time out of your training before you get ready to head down to Mexico City.
Oh, you rock. Thank you guys so much for having me, and I look forward to talking after the win.
You got it. Go take care of business. Queen of Cleveland. I love it. Jessica, have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
You got it. Jessica, Evil Eye, you guys. What a great interview. And she, like she said, Queen of Cleveland. Go take care of business. Stipe's got a shot coming up here to get himself a shot. We'll talk more about that. We're going to have him on soon enough as well. Guys, let's take a break. Top of the hour coming up. Great interview. I can't wait. She's got me fired up, man. Go down there and take care of some business. I'm a finisher. I love that. How long's your training camp been going? Since I was born. What are you talking about? We're going to take a break. Top of the hour. When we come back, shift gears. Dr. Football Bill Chachkes is going to join us at the top of the hour here. We'll talk Browns and their victory this past week and the Bengals coming up. Look around the slate of the NFL and more. We'll talk some football with Dr. Football coming up next. Once again, November 15th, next week, UFC 180, live on pay-per-view from Mexico City, Mexico. Jessica I representing the 216 against Leslie Smith. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Dr. Football here on The Fix.
I make a rich woman beg, and I make a good woman steal. I make an old woman blush, and I make a young girl squeal. I wanna be yours, pretty baby, yours and yours alone. I'm here to tell you, honey, that I'm bad to the bone. Bad.
Warning. Listening to the Sports Fix could cause serious injury, bodily harm.